I'm Dr. Mark Hatala, and I want to welcome you to our discussion on citing and referencing research journals. So, properly using the sources your professor wants to see in your paper. But I'll start with a plea for buying my books. I have 3 books on APA style, which will help you with your writing, and I can go into far more depth in the books than I can in these videos. So, let's talk about journal articles as a source. Your paper should be built on empirical research, which is published in research journals. Now, we used to refer to these as periodicals because, like magazines and newspapers, they come out periodically, oftentimes 4 times a year or maybe once every month. Now they're referred to as textual works, along with things like books and book chapters, which are another video, Wikipedia, blog posts and blog post comments, and a lot of other things too. The basic structure of a reference for a journal article with one author looks like their last name, their first initial, their middle initial, the year of publication, the title of the journal article, the name of the periodical in italics, the volume number of the periodical in italics, the issue number of the periodical if it's available, parenthetically, and not in italics, the page numbers of the article, and then the DOI if it's available. But that's not very helpful. So let's look at a real example and we can go through this that way. So this is an article by Kristen Harrison called Television Viewers' Ideal Body Proportions, the Case of the Curvaceously Thin Woman. So you can see that the title is in title case because this is a screenshot of the journal article. So we start with the author's name. Last name first, and then first name initial, followed by the year of publication, 2003, and you can see that at the top there, followed by the title of the article, and when you put it in a reference, it's in sentence case, and so it's written like a sentence where the first word's capitalized, the word after the colon is capitalized. So, whereas the title is in title case, the reference is in sentence case. There's another video about distinguishing between those two. Then the name of the journal in italics, then the volume number in italics and the issue number, which is 5 and 6. Then the pages, which you actually can't see from the screenshot, but you also can't see this, which is the DOI, which comes at the end. Now that's the long DOI, and then this one is the shortened DOI, but I'll talk about that here in a minute too. And so that's how you would put together a reference for a journal article with one author. So DOI, or digital object identifier numbers, have become pervasive in periodicals and journal articles, but they're not always assigned to every possible source. If a source has an assigned DOI, whether or not you retrieve it online, I guess I should say this too. What a DOI, what it's identifying is where a journal article or anything else is permanently stored in a digital network. Although its permanence, I don't know how long that'll last, but theoretically it's permanent. So if it has an assigned one, been assigned a DOI, then that should be included at the end of your reference. If a source has no assigned DOI, then really you can't include it in the reference. And so you may run into some journal articles, especially older ones, that don't have a DOI number. A lot of books don't have DOIs, but some do. If you want to shorten your DOI, there's actually a service through the Short DOI service, and you can see the URL there, which is shortdoi.org. And so you can see the difference in our example. And so it's just a way, it either is acceptable and you can use them interchangeably throughout your reference list. So if you're citing the journal article, we'll stick with our Harrison source. With a single author, citation's pretty straightforward. The author should be cited every time the source is cited, whether the citation is narrative or parenthetical. So narrative occurs within the sentence, so Harrison 2003 found that, whatever. And the parenthetical format is in parentheses. So, however, others, Harrison 2003, have found that. When a journal article has 2 authors, the reference format remains the same. So names, year, title, journal, volume, etc. But in terms of citation, the citation remains straightforward. Both authors should be cited every time the source is cited, whether it's narrative or parenthetical. So the Chekron and Bauer found that, and then in the parenthetical format, you use the ampersand between the 2 authors. And that's really the only difference there. What about if we have 3 or more authors? Again, the reference format remains the same. We list all of the authors, and then the year, and then the title, and then the journal name, etc. And when in terms of citation actually simplifies. And this is if you have 3 or more, so you could have 20 authors. You just need to provide the last name of the first author followed by et al. Whenever the source appears in your paper. Again, whether the citation's narrative or parenthetical. So Gurney et al. 2013 found that. However, others, Gurney et al. 2013, and so you can see that it's actually very simple to do. You include up to 20 authors in a reference, but again, just the first author in a citation. But if there's over 20 authors for a reference, the first 19 are listed, then an ellipses, and then the last author. Now, I've never actually seen a source with over 20 authors. That picture over to the right would have over 20 authors. And I can only imagine what a meeting to determine authorship would look like with 20 plus authors. But, there's a lot of things I haven't seen. I want to thank you for watching this video and wish you good luck with your writing. If you'd like more materials and resources and videos, please come visit us at apacentral.com and have a great day.